one of the biggest issues in the rap industry right now is known as self-snitching. What this means is a rapper that uses lyrics that describes real life crimes that either themselves or friends did to someone that led to a passing, a robbery, or so many other crimes, which in the end helps law enforcement solve court cases. Here's a list of lyrics that rappers have used in songs that ended up helping law enforcement solve some serious court cases. Now, as a quick heads up, Lil Durk and King Von are gonna be some favorites in today's videos, as their music is all about real life issues that they had to live through while living in Chicago. In a Lil Durk song, he goes on to say the lyrics, and I quote, "I heard the ops got dropped right at the designer store." Now in this song, Lil Durk is making the song about a pretty obvious person. This would be the rapper FBG Duck, who sadly passed right outside of a designer store. FBG Duck and Lil Durk, they have had a beef going on with each other for several years. Now, while many people believe that it was Lil Durk who actually did this towards FBG Duck, I can assure you that that's not true. Lil Durk has mentioned many times now that ever since becoming one of the biggest rappers in the world, he's not really about that lifestyle anymore, but it does not mean he will stop creating music about it. Now sure, he would still do anything for the guys at O Block, he will remain loyal to them, but it's simply not smart for Lil Durk if he wanted to go out and still live the street type of lifestyle, as that would risk his music career. He's way too big of a rapper to do that kind of stuff, to risk going to prison for a very long time. However, Lil Durk continuing to rap about an op passing right out front of a designer store just weeks after it happened, this made law enforcement make Lil Durk and the guys from O Block the first people that they investigated to solve this court case. Getting into the next rapper, we have King Von. In King Von's famous song Demon, he uses the lyrics, and I quote, "Whitney got hit and I seen it, I was right there, still can't believe it." Now, King Von was best friends with Whitney for a very long time. Back in 2012, King Von and Whitney went out to a convenience store, and while King Von headed inside to buy some drinks, somebody ended up doing a drive-by at the convenience store after they noticed Whitney standing out front. Sadly, after the drive-by incident went down, he did not make it. King Von heard what was going on outside and then proceeded to run out of the convenience store while it was going down to help out his friend. Sadly, there wasn't much that Von could do, but he still tried to save him by calling an ambulance and getting an emergency help. Whitney made it to the hospital, but sadly didn't make it through. This affected King Von for a very long time. King Von used what he learned from him in his music very often, but law enforcement, they ended up using the lyrics that was in the song to determine what actually happened to him, as King Von created lyrics about the entire situation, but actually refused to tell law enforcement what happened on the exact same day it happened, as King Von was brought into jail for questioning after the incident went down. Next rapper on our list is FBG Duck. In FBG Duck's song Exposing Me, he goes on to use the lyrics, and I quote, "Waldo ain't get to finish his status, he was on the internet laughing, capping, then he got caught without it." Now, FBG Duck is very well known for having beefs with rappers from O Block, such as rappers as Lil Durk and King Von. But in this song, Duck was going after a man named Waldo. Waldo was walking on the sidewalk around 2 to 3 minutes away from O Block, where he was originally supposed to go, as he was going to meet up with some friends on the 10th of October in 2018. That's when a car then pulled up beside Waldo, asked him to put his hoodie down, and then the act was done once the people in the car realized who he was. Waldo sadly passed, as nobody was there to help him in the situation. It was very upsetting, and FBG Duck kinda went into full detail about it in that full song. Now after FBG Duck's passing, the boys from O Block, they definitely made sure to get their payback, as Duck has made songs about Waldo's passing. Lil Durk ended up having payback to him when he released a song titled Should've Ducked, featuring Pooh Shiesty on his latest project. As we said earlier in the video, FBG Duck was caught outside of a designer store, and Lil Durk's song is basically telling him he should have ducked behind a car. Now these lyrics actually ended up helping law enforcement in a huge way, as on the sidewalk that Waldo was walking on that day, there obviously was no security cameras or any stoplights that have cameras on them. There was nothing in that nature or witnesses at the scene. So FBG Duck making a song about it will basically let law enforcement know that FBG Duck and basically all of his boys know exactly what happened to Waldo. It wasn't confirmed if law enforcement then arrested anyone from his team to investigate them on the passing of Waldo, but this definitely gave them some insight on who knows what happened and how exactly it happened. Next up on the list is another song from King Von. Now in King Von's famous song, Back Again, this ends up featuring Lil Durk and Prince Dre. He ends up using the lyrics, and I quote, "Crump was doing all that woofing and he ain't even make it." Now Crump, he was outside of a party in Chicago when a car pulled up on him while he was standing outside. I'm assuming you could probably guess what happened right after that, but Crump passed after being hit twice in the torso and twice in the arm. From most Lil Durk songs, he says in the lyrics pretty often to never speak bad on Newski's name. Well, I can see why that is, as allegedly, Crump was actually talking really bad about Newski only a week prior to this incident even happening. Now this was very easy for law enforcement to follow, as Lil Durk actually ended up making a song about this, and a lot of other people from O Block as well talked about the incident happening with Crump. And when you're in a party in Chicago, especially a really crowded one where there's a lot of people in that specific area, it's actually pretty tough for law enforcement to figure out who even did it, as it was a drive-by as well. And while in Chicago, they aren't really built up with security cameras like there is a lot of other places in the world. So law enforcement actually had a very tough time with this case, and it actually wasn't solved for quite some time. Obviously, all of the rappers we spoke about in today's video did not snitch on these incidences to law enforcement to help them. It was just lyrics that they used in their music, and that's how law enforcement were able to put piece by piece together. If anything, King Von actually refused to tell law enforcement what happened to his best friend on the day that he passed. But if you did enjoy the video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. It's been District Trending and I'm out. Peace.